From the freshman 15, from the sophomore slump, the junior jump, and the senior graduates. We're here to talk about where our quarterbacks are within those 4 years, where they could be, their division they're in, and how are we going to see them mature within the next 4 years from first freshman to senior and senior to our veteran 8-year quarterbacks that we rely on. So before we get into that, I'd like to just talk about Twitter and YouTube. So if you have time, please follow, comment, subscribe. Twitter channel is a lot of sport highlights, where we're at overall in terms of articles, podcast posts, and hopefully stuff from other people and things like this, which I really enjoy. So May 31st is the 1 year ago that J.R. Smith forgot to score. One of the best moments ever, because I absolutely hate LeBron James. So please find the time to like, subscribe, check it out. YouTube page, Let's Talk Goats podcast. It's got a lot of video game content, nerd culture type stuff like that. And the podcast will all be uploaded to here. So for the video podcast, please follow up with this and any articles and whatnot. Twitter. So please like, subscribe, follow. Appreciate it. I like to get this up and running a little bit as fast as possible. So, and to come in the future, some merch. So we're going to jump into where we're at in our classes. We'll start from our freshmen. So rookies were drafted last year, as we all know. Pretty easy to remember. Kyler Murray overall to Arizona. Drew Lock got drafted extremely late for some reason over to the Broncos. Dwayne Haskins, Redskins. Daniel Jones, as we all know, the meme New York Giants. Sophomores we're entering this year. Baker, the most successful of the class. Josh Allen, Buffalo. Rosen, who just got moved over to Miami. I think that's a fantastic thing for him. Sam Darnold, Jets. Lamar Jackson, Ravens. Our juniors, Pat Mahomes, Watson, Deshaun Watson, and Mitchell Trubisky. And our seniors, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz. So I'd like to start off in reverse, because we kind of know where we're at, how they're going to do, and whether their team's going to excel or not. It's the sophomores and under that we have to look at. Now let's see how they did last year, see what the weapons they got, and their divisions. That's the big one. Are they going to be able to get out of their division in the next 3 years? That's the big one. Where the other team's sitting at. Some of these players are all in the same division. It's going to be very tough, but that's the competition that's great to have when you're talking within 2 age difference between quarterbacks in the same division. You're going to see them compete until they start knocking themselves out, and then there's only one remaining. So we'll start with Jared Goff. Jared Goff's very established. I mean, the guy's got a cannon. He'll be entering his 4th year, just coming off of a fantastic year. Just losing to the Super Bowl due to the Patriots' defense. And just pure outsmarts, really, keeping the ball, clock management. Jared Goff, Carson Wentz in this class are the two easiest ones, by far. The Eagles are going places. LA is going places even faster. The Rams are in a place that's going to cost a lot of money, which means that they're going to get a lot of endorsements. They're going to get a lot of income. They're always going to supply players around their team. I don't think in the next 10 years we're going to see the Rams truly struggling to get players to LA. As all the other NBA conversations are, when a player goes to LA to play, it's money, money, money. Things are surrounding them with players, TV, endorsements. It's just the atmosphere in LA is beyond, much other. And I think that the LA Rams, once established in the stadium, the fan base is going to be just so overwhelming. They're going to perform well this season. Jared Goff is in the best possible situation of any quarterback in his age and younger to succeed. Carson Wentz. Everyone's calling him to be the next MVP. I mean, the next big great. Carson Wentz is, like I said in my other podcast, played 13 games. He's injured. He's hurt. He's always hurt. He's got a great defensive team, very good offensive team while the age permits. He's got a good coach. These are the things that you need to be successful. but it's staying injured, like staying healthy is the priority. Getting the health staff there is priority. Is it the offensive line? Is it the way he's positioning himself? Is it the way he's taking a hit? Those are things that need to be looked in maybe a little bit more. Obviously, being the offensive line being the easier thing. I personally think he has a bad way of protecting the ball, and as offensive line, he's always getting suffocated. When not suffocated, as we all have seen, the guy throws the ball. The Eagles' current division: Cowboys, Giants, Redskins. This is the division of the last 5 years that it's just been up to whoever decides they want to be subpar. And then they go on to playoffs, and then they did lose. Dallas Cowboys made it last year purely off defense. The Giants, Giants are in crumbles. Giants are a joke. They have Saquon Barkley. Odell's gone. Their lead receiver is Sterling Shepard. Interesting. And they just drafted Daniel Jones, I believe 4th overall, as opposed to any of the other 3, which was very surprising and, as we all know, bad. Eli Manning is terrible. He does have 2 rings, but let's be honest, not very good. He got sat for Geno Smith a couple years ago. Please don't forget that. And the Washington Redskins, who in my opinion are one of my favorite teams to look at because they have Geis is coming off an ACL. Haskins is young. Reuben Foster, who unfortunately just got suspended, so that's a problem. They got players, they got some weapons, but let's keep in mind last year they were playing damn good without a lot of people, and they were winning your division until Alex Smith broke his leg, unfortunately. So the Eagles should have no problem wrapping up their division. If you look at the next 2 years of what that division is going to handle, the Redskins could add a weapon, free agent wise. The Giants have a lot of rebuild, a lot. Saquon Barkley can't score all the points, although he does now. He can't score all the points. And the Dallas Cowboys are aging. Yes, you have Dak Prescott, mediocre quarterback. Yes, you have Ezekiel Elliott, second best running back in the entire league. Amari Cooper is getting up there in age. While he's performing, Dak has to throw to him accurately. Their defense is good, very surprising last year. Head coach situation, not too good. Ownership, not too good. Carson Wentz, aside from Goff, has a great chance of getting out and seeing where they're going to be at. Juniors, everybody in the 3rd year. Pat Mahomes, Watson, Trubisky. Let's start with the easiest, Pat Mahomes. MVP, stud, can make all the throws, plays on the run, takes hits correctly, makes smart plays. And when he doesn't make smart plays, he does it with grace. Pat Mahomes is in one of the toughest divisions in all football. Of the last 3 years, so-so. In the next few, it's going to be an issue. Denver Broncos are rebuilding. Added Drew Lock, Phillip Lindsay, and they will be looking to add some more receiving core. Defense is also very good. Los Angeles Chargers. It's a team that's scary last year, and this year. Will it be scary in 2 years? It's going to come down to the quarterback situation, honestly. And then the Oakland Raiders, another team just in shambles, in full rebuild again. So they don't really matter too much. Pat Mahomes, as I've said before, is our second coming of Brady. He's our Brady replacement. Whether we see it now, this year, 5 years, he will be up in there, in the top 3, regardless of the age. Deshaun Watson. It's a good, interesting one. He's in a very tough division. He's got the Texans, or he's got the divisions: the Texans, the Colts, the Jags, and the Titans. The Colts are the team to fear this year. They were the team out of the blue last year. Andrew Luck performed fantastic. I mean, that team in general, like defensive-wise, offensive-wise, they got weapons. They can play. They're a scary team. The Titans, Marcus Mariota didn't have that nerve damage. The Titans are always a middle-of-the-pack team. Sneaks in the playoffs. That get the wins when they need to. A very good road team. But without him, Ryan Tannehill is not going to make the plays. The Jacksonville Jaguars. What a fucking team that is. Oh boy, Bortles finally gone. Replaced with Nick Foles. Okay. Um, Said in the past, let's pay attention to Nick Foles' full career, not what he did that we remember. We remember him for the Super Bowl and for playing for the Eagles, getting them where they need to be. But let's keep in mind, he started in other areas. He played for the Rams, played for the Chiefs. Let's look up stats of him and see how we think he'll do, regardless of where he's at currently in his career due to age. I don't see that team going too far, although they are very defensively stacked, but they are unstable, threatening to trade away Miles Jack, their safety, I forget his name, the other good one. The team looks like a Giants type thing, or Raiders, where they think they should move a star player to get 2 picks here, and then it's all hypothetical, as opposed to running with what they have and building the Legion of Boom. I thought they had the second closest thing to Legion of Boom. They are a scary defensive team, and then they crumbled. Fournette injured. Fournette just didn't perform. Can he stay healthy? I don't know. He's a tough one overall this year to gauge. But I think Watson's going to go toe-to-toes with the Colts. They usually tend to have very good games against them in division. Watson has Hopkins. He's got a running back. He's got a good offensive line. He's got a good defense that can turn it, although they just lost Matthew to the Chiefs. I do see Watkins having a very good year coming up. I see him having a very good career overall. I don't see him going really anywhere anytime soon. My only worry is, as Pat Mahomes, same thing. When playing out of the pocket, how safe are we being? Are we taking these hits smart? Are we taking them correctly? And are we getting back up and making the next best decision after getting knocked out? That's what really matters for Deshaun Watson. Decision-making, team leaders, I don't know how much I like his team leadership. I do like his decision-making. And eventually that decision-making will come hand in hand with his team. And last for our juniors, Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky, I think, has a very, very high ceiling. Division, Detroit Lions, the Bears, the Packers, the Vikings. So let's look at the division here. Detroit Lions, a team that just isn't going to get it together, not in time. And when they do, we're past the point where you are trying to figure yourself out as a quarterback. The Green Bay Packers, weapons. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. That's all you got to say, Aaron Rodgers. But they have Aaron Jones. They have Devontae Adams. They have players. They have good players. They're a tough one to beat. But the rivalry, as we saw last year, is there. The Minnesota Vikings, in my opinion, one of the better off teams in the entire league, just can't get it together defensively. Offensively, they look good. Dalvin Cook entering his 3rd year. He looks good. How they do defensively is a big deal. They're not getting it together. If they can, they're gonna look like a very scary team. The thing with the Bears is their current weapons right now are very mediocre on offense. Yet, they're entering the season with the best possible defense they can ask for, and the number 1 ranked defense. Khalil Mack is going to take that team and just absolutely run over anybody that stops them. Anybody that's going to stand in the way, they're going to get that ball back. They are amazing to watch on defense. And they play their division phenomenal. When they play the Vikings and they play the Packers and Lions, they play some goddamn football. Jordan Howard left the team this year. That improved their team by a lot. Jordan Howard and Tariq Cohen splitting was too much of an issue, in my opinion. I don't think the ball got thrown or got given enough to Cohen. And as we all have seen from last year, when Cohen has the ball, plays happen. He catches, he runs, he makes plays. Jordan Howard runs the ball. He is a ISO, up the gut type guy. He gets those yards. I think he's going to do extremely well on the Eagles. Very, very well. I just don't think. I think where you're placed truly matters. Your situation you're in truly matters. If you're a mediocre running back and you get put to another team and something gets your eyes get opened up, things are going to change. Until then, you're going to remain that quarterback. You're going to remain that player, that wide receiver, that quarterback, the running back who's stuck in that scheme. And I think Jordan Howard's going to do very well. I think Tyreek Cohen's going to do even better. I have Cohen moving up quite a bit in my fantasy, wants. Where as opposed to a third, fourth round, he's going to be high 3, low 2, potentially. This is going to be their guy. I think Mitch Trubisky's got an arm. I think he's going to be playing very well. I see him and the Bears going and dominating the North. I would definitely consider that the junior and senior year are 5 huge front runners. These are the guys that are all going to be transitioning. And it's crazy to think about because all 5 of them, out of all the QBs drafted in the first and second round, even the third primarily, of junior and senior year being 3 to 4 years ago, this is most of them. There wasn't a lot of talent to come out. And for all of them to be put in their system and all 5 of these players to be, the system guys is pretty impressive. Now let's break down to sophomore and freshman years. This is where we get the one first year guys that might not even start and the second year guys that made a name. Every second year guy started, which is absolutely insane. The teams just didn't have what they needed. They put in the guys, and some worked out, some didn't. Start out with the most successful, being Baker Mayfield. The Browns. I mean, this is a team that didn't win for 2 years. 2 years. A team that has been building and building and building. And for anybody who really cared about the draft, people that really like football, paid attention to what they were getting. They were paying attention to the weapons. They had a lot. They had a lot of talent. They made a lot of good decisions, but they couldn't attract anybody to Cleveland because it's fucking Cleveland. Fucking Cleveland. Who wants to go there? Honestly. That was the struggle. If you took the talent they had farm system-wise in their drafts and put them in any other city, I guarantee you they're going to attract more players. They are. The last thing you want, the hardest thing you got to do as a manager, GM, is bring in talent to an area that's not as popular as LA, New York, Florida, even. I mean, it's all about, this is where you're living, so it's hard to get Cleveland. Baker is bringing in talent. Baker is a stud. He's got the attitude. Their whole team is young. They're going to be bringing in new people. I saw people wearing Baker jerseys. I'm a Baker believer. I'm a huge Baker fan. I watch him in college. And I don't like college sports too much. I don't really follow it. When I saw Baker play, I wanted to pay attention. Kid can play. He's got weapons. And on top of that, they added Odell Beckham Jr. on the other side of Landry. It's insane. The Browns have the hardest struggle to make out of their division, only because of the Steelers. The Browns will be division winners this year. The Browns will be division leaders the next 5 years. The Baltimore Ravens, the Bengals, and the Steelers are the only ones challenging that. 2 out of 3 of those teams are in rebuild. Baltimore Ravens are in a very slow rebuild with signing veteran players that are only going to last about 3 to 4 years, if that. They have a quarterback who is also on my list, Lamar Jackson, and they have the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are in a very slight rebuild. They know that Andy Dalton's on his way out soon. AJ Green's getting old. Joe Mixon is really what they got. Joe Mixon is talented. The guy catches, he guys runs, he scores. He does it all. But he doesn't do enough. The defense doesn't do enough. The Pittsburgh goddamn Steelers. Big Ben is 37 years old. Their backup, Mason Rudolph, is very good. Oklahoma State, if I'm right. I don't project them to do very well. James Conner, as we saw last year, came out guns blazing. But the most fragile position in all of football is your running back spot. Will he perform again? We'll see. Well, Juju Smith is a great weapon, but he's no Antonio Brown. I don't care what people say. I understand that there's plenty of Twitter discussion, and Antonio Brown is just a shitty person, apparently. But there's a huge talent difference between Juju Smith and Antonio Brown. And when you lose somebody like Antonio Brown, and you take away the left and right targets, and you only make it right, it's a lot easier for teams to shut you down, especially when you're aging. And you just came off of a good year. The year before that, you thought you would retire. So what year are we getting here? Getting a retired year? Or are we getting a great year? If we're getting a great year, what did we lose in this process? What are we down? One receiver? Le'Veon Bell's gone? Distractions? Maybe? Media? I don't see how the Steelers are going to make it out of division over the Browns. Really don't. Like, the Browns are too much. I don't think there's no overhype. I think people are just happy to see the fucking Browns win a game and do well. That's my big thing. Josh Allen. The goddamn Bills. So this one, actually I'm going to cover 3 quarterbacks in this whole area because 3 more are sophomores. Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Sam Darnold all play in division. Sam Darnold of the Jets, Josh Rosen of the Miami, very new off the draft. And Josh Allen for the Bills. We'll start with Josh Allen on the Bills. I don't think his career will last too long. I think you might be looking at 2 years. I do know that Josh Allen has one of the greatest arms in football. I think if he's either the best arm or the second best next to Pat Mahomes. Accuracy-wise, maybe not. Deep-wise, yes. Arm strength, not precision. Josh Allen can throw a football field. It's fucking impressive. Who's he throwing it to? That's the Bills' problem. Bills don't have a team. They have a guy retire midseason last year. They have Shady McCoy. Old. Can't do anything. The Buffalo Bills, as everyone's paid attention to, it's one of those teams that's just in shambles. And it has been. And they only got it together 1 year and made playoffs. And everybody got excited. But they're back to the same form. And when teams fail, they blame the quarterbacks and the coaches. Josh Allen probably has about a year to prove something, or 2 years to prove something. And then if he goes to another team, he makes a backup. I think he has a backup career in him for his size and arm strength. I don't think he's a starting position at Buffalo Bills will last much longer. Josh Rosen, Miami. Anybody who knows Josh Rosen or has run tape on him, he's a good QB. He's smart. He's a good time management. He reminds me a lot of Alex Smith. He's got a good arm. It's a good size. I think he's going to do extremely well in Miami, which is surprising because he did so poor in Arizona. The big difference between that is the team you're around, the atmosphere you're around. Miami hasn't seen a quarterback new since Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill came into Miami. People were very big. They were excited about it. The fans in Miami are diehards. I think this is a 90s, 80s team. Those teams have a crazy fan base. 49ers, the Raiders, those teams. This is a team that has deep fans. They just got a number 1 overall pick from the year before for nothing, really. I mean, honestly. They should be looking at the glass half full for sure. And I think if not, the media, he looks like a good kid. He interviews well, good attitude, and when leaving Arizona, he did it gracefully and said thank you to a place that people didn't like him. He still walked away on good terms, which is really what matters. I think Miami needs to look at that as a big glass half full, take advantage of it, and see what we can do about putting some people around aside from Kenny Stills to catch the ball. Running back wise as well. You're going to throw Frank Gore back in there and just have him run up the gut? I mean, it's just not going to work. But I do see Josh Rosen in the next 3 years making some moves. Sam Darnold. He's set up for success as well. This is a team that's been bad for a long time. Sam Darnold. I mean, they just got 3rd overall pick. They got the best safety in the league, Jamal Adams. They are consistently putting free agents around them and consistently drafting defensive players. My only quarrel with Sam Darnold is that he's throwing to Robbie Anderson. A guy got in trouble already once. A smaller guy. The guy looks like he was about 70 pounds with pads. That's scary. You take that team and you get somebody like Plexico Burress, size, no gun. Throw to him. You're going to make some plays. Think about like Des Bryant. Player like that. Obviously not his current state, but a player like that, you put him on the Jets. Sam Darnold's going to make plays. He's got a good offensive line. He just needs to correct his decision making. That is his problem. Sam Darnold is their franchise quarterback. He reminds me of like the Carson Wentz. They put him in a successful area, and they said that this is your job. This is what you're going to do. Play your way, and we'll see how it goes. Not every place is like that. Perfect example, Josh Rosen. He was given a very minuscule chance. Things changed, staff-wise, and it caused him to have to leave. Out of all three of them, I don't see any of them winning this division. New England Patriots have Tom Brady. When Tom Brady leaves within a year or two, it's crazy, but they have a high chance of still just winning the division purely off their team. People always think Tom Brady, he's the reason why they're winning, Tom Brady. I'm a Chiefs and Patriots fan, and I understand, and I do a lot of fantasy, do a lot of this stuff. Their defensive team is absolutely unreal. As we saw last year, they held the Rams to 3 fucking points. 3 points. The Los Angeles Rams, who scored all year. This is the New England Patriots. I want you guys to tell me what key additions they added in the last 3 years in free agency for defense. For the most part, this is a very, very homegrown defense led by veterans. Smart plays. They lost their defensive coordinator, and they're still playing. This year, out of our freshmen, I don't have him down because he was a later pick. They drafted a kid out of Auburn. Looks good. Looks a lot like Mitch Trubisky, to be honest. Type character. Arm's good too. There's going to be an uprising when he comes in and he plays decent. Jamie G was supposed to take over, but they drafted somebody who actually performed fantastic. A little too early, but he had to go. Can they do it twice? Definitely possible. Can the New England Patriots do well with a top free agent quarterback? And I don't mean the Kirk Cousins top free agent quarterback or Case Keenum. I'm talking like a Ryan Tannehill in 2 years. A Blake Bortles. These are crazy options that could happen. Fuck, even Case Keenum, I guess. These are players you could put in and say, you have what you got. Make it happen. And they could do it. It's a different atmosphere. If I were to pick one of 3 to make it out of the division, my gut says Miami, but I guess statistically the Jets. My gut says Miami because they just play good against their division. But the Jets are set up for success with their team, defense and offense. So if I were to pick one, I guess it'd be the Jets making it out of the East. But very unlikely. That's it for my sophomore. Oh, I said one more. Sorry. Lamar Jackson. That was the one. Lamar Jackson. What a goddamn division we're looking at here. So Lamar Jackson. Current. He's got to deal with, the Bengals, the Browns, the Steelers. I thought this team just imploded last year. They looked good. They were scary defensively. Scary. Nobody wanted to play them, honestly. But within last year and this year, right now, they lost C.J. Mosley. They lost Eric Weddle. They lost Alex Collins. And they lost Terrell Suggs. You lost your 2 biggest threats defensively. They're still a good defensive team. But when you take out your leaders, things are going to change. Attitudes are going to change. The way you rely on people are going to change. It's just how it happens. And it sucks. And Lamar Jackson is not a gunslinger. He is a runner. And running's great. But keep in mind, it's not always going to get you there. There are teams that are going to just stop you there. The good teams. 50% or higher teams. 50% or under, maybe you can get away with a couple crazy, 60-yard runs. Maybe score. But you're not going to go against the Falcons and do that. The Rams, the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Chargers, Jags, even the Browns. It's not going to happen. So I don't see Lamar Jackson excelling in the next 5 years. I don't see them winning the division in the next 5 years. I think a replacement Big Ben is going to do better than that. He just doesn't have enough. I do really like that the Baltimore is putting the ball in his hands and they're giving him the opportunities. Joe Flacco's gone. The era is over. And I don't think Joe Flacco gets enough credit of what he's done years and years and years in Baltimore. What has Baltimore had? Like, please tell me. What have they had to get by as always? And it seems like the Bengals and Ravens are always every year middle of the pack trying to figure out if they can get there or not. Really, it's insane. Lamar Jackson, unless something changes the next year or two, I don't think Mark Ingram is going to get him there. Adding somebody like Mark Ingram, who's not the best catch and run player, and pairing him with a quarterback that's not a very good throwing player, means are you going to have a left runner and a right runner? And that's the idea. I don't see it there. I don't think much is going to happen. I think we're looking at about 3-4 years at most before we start getting a little frustrated. Potentially an RJ3 type thing. Freshman. The most interesting. Kyler Murray, Drew Lock, Haskins, Daniel Jones. We'll start with who's starting. Kyler Murray. Got rid of Josh Rosen, their starter, to fit him in because he played with the coach in college. Great idea. The chemistry is there. Kyler Murray is a good athletic player. The height is obviously the big discussion that everybody had, that they want to pass on him. He's a shorter quarterback, but he can make the throw. His precision is good. He's being compared to good players. Who he throws to, maybe that's a next year's problem. Maybe a couple guys can catch. But let's keep in mind that when you're bringing in somebody, number one overall, and you make a huge franchise decision like they did to bring in Kyler Murray, all eyes are on Kyler Murray right now. So if you take a very good quarterback, hypothetically, and throw to a very bad receiver, and he only catches those balls 40-45% of the time, they're going to drop that due to percentage. And it's going to look like, it's going to affect your passing rating. Regardless if I am currently at a game watching it happen, I know it's not Kyler Murray's fault. There's somebody there running statistics showing that he's not completing passes. And those stats are going to be brought up in 2-3 years. I think Arizona's team needs a little more work to set him up for success. He does. All rookies obviously have that 1 year buffer to show them what they can do. Second year, they want to see some improvement. Third year, they want to see closer to results. Jared Goff, good example for it. Somebody who came in not too great, learned, and then went from there. I think Kyler Murray doesn't have any veteran players to lean on. I think good examples, Patrick Mahomes leaned on Alex Smith, one of the great, in my opinion, one of the greatest clock management quarterbacks that I've been able to watch. But he also learned how to correctly make good decisions. Regardless of his weak arm strength or not, he still made good decisions. Kyler Murray does not have anybody to lean on, nor his coach. So we're going to look at an interesting year and see what we can get out of him. Can he make a division? No fucking way. There's zero chance. The Rams, the 49ers, who are just going to be a threat, and Seattle Seahawks, who just got DK Metcalf, now a weapon, hopefully, if he stays healthy, for Russell Wilson. Seahawks also got a great running back core that's young. 2 players. They're going to come out playing. That division is hard. Cardinals decide to get mediocre running the pack. That's going to be one of the hardest divisions in football within the next 3 years. Guarantee. Drew Lock. Currently marked as the backup behind Joe Flacco. When we were doing the draft, in my opinion, Joe Flacco is the best. Joe Flacco. I love Joe Flacco, but Drew Lock is the best rookie quarterback. Size, strength, decision-making, intelligence. He is a good quarterback. Why he was taken second round? Easy. Mizzou. You take him and you put him on a big-name team. Clemson. Bama. Oklahoma. Ohio State. Any of the, there's a lot of bigger teams. His name's going to get thrown around more. He's played all 4 years. He's smart. He makes good decisions. Drew Lock will take that starting position. Guarantee. I don't think it's right away. Flacco can still play. He's still got a lot in him. I think Drew Lock will play next year or due to injury mid to later season. Drew Lock's going to be scary. I'm afraid of the Broncos. I think Drew Lock's got a good offensive line. He's got a good defense. He's got Emmanuel Sanders, and he's got Phillip Lindsay. There's not too much he might need to be successful, but I do think he's going to be quite successful start out, and that's a scary thing to see. I think he's going to do very well for himself. Dwayne Haskins. It's on a team with weapons, and it's the same division as the Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys. So the last 2 I have on here is Daniel Jones and Haskins, both in the same division. Neither of those teams are going to get out of the division. Not if Carson Wentz is healthy. Cowboys make a quarterback change. It's a different conversation, but they're going to be a team. But out of those 2, obviously, we're going to go with the Redskins, going to compete with the Eagles. Again, I do not think they're going to be getting out. Daniel Jones has not the best track record in college. I'm a firm believer that you're going to go get the guy you want. The Chiefs traded up and got Pat Mahomes because it's the guy they wanted, the guy they liked, the human they had a conversation with, not stat-wise. Not only is that, not saying that is the way to go, but it's good and bad. Dwayne Haskins is another one. Dwayne Haskins is from that area. It's homegrown. Perfect fit for him. I don't know how well he'll do. He's only played 1 year in Ohio, and he looked great. He's young. His team in general has a lot of talent around him. I'm really interested in seeing how the Redskins do overall this season. I want to see how Geist does. I want to see how the defense does. I want to see how the coaching does. They're in it. Anybody who starts in this division has the easiest division in football. That's just how it is. These are teams that you can get some free wins by for sure. It's very easy. All stadiums here are very easy to play in. Cowboys are the only intimidating one only because of the 90s, the 80s. I mean, Cowboys are one of those core teams from back in the day, and it's a good atmosphere. So any rookie that gets to play these teams twice a year will be in a very good spot. I don't see Dwayne Haskins making it 4 to 5 years, but it's harder to project any rookie, really. We really just have to go off of what we've seen in college and really what team they're on, how they're building. I do think, surprisingly, Daniel Jones will do well. My only reason why I think he'll do well is because it looks like, if smart, the New York Giants will play Eli for 2 more years and then have him, and he'll retire. Or at least a year. Within the year or 2, they're going to be looking at more high draft picks. New York is a very large free agent market. They are saving a ton of money. They're going to be signing people in the next 2 to 3 years with high draft picks. Daniel Jones, young, sits for 2 years. That would be great. I think every rookie quarterback needs to come in and sit a year behind the correct quarterback. Jimmy G, Pat Mahomes, good examples. I mean, the players that sit behind get to actually learn and see. I'm excited to see Teddy Bridgewater actually play behind fucking Drew Brees, regardless of how great it's going to be. It's just good to see. Daniel Jones, regardless of, when you're coming in, you need to learn the goods and bads. I don't care if you take the goods away. Take the bads away. Learn what Eli's doing. I think within the next 4 to 5 years, Daniel Jones will be in a comfortable situation. And as long as his interception rate doesn't overshadow really anything else, I think he can get by and become decent. Dwayne Haskins on the other point, I don't know. Dwayne Haskins is the biggest question mark for me. It's the 1 year that we saw in a very, very strong organization. It's kind of hard to judge him. So that's what I got. That's my freshmen through seniors, quarterbacks entering the 2019 season. So if you guys have other opinions, anybody I left out, do you think needs to be, shout outed? Comment, like, subscribe, please. Follow me on Twitter. Let's Talk Goats. Follow me on YouTube. Let's Talk Goats. Let's have more conversations. Soon to come, we'll be talking about we'll be placing some running backs, fantasy football, defense this year. And then we'll see what happens with the Bruins game tomorrow. Thank you.